Sheriff Mark Hackel on the other end of our line, running for the new executive post out in Macomb County. He made the announcement official yesterday afternoon. Joining us this morning. How are you, Sheriff?
Hi, Frank. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. What finally turned it for you and made you decide you were going to do this?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people are supportive, and everybody kept saying, it was one of the worst-kept secrets. But for me, it was a difficult decision because of something I've been doing for years, and that's law enforcement. Being a police officer for the last 29 years, and as sheriff for the last 9-10 years, it's difficult just to say, okay, I want to jump into something, different without having that same passion that I've had for what I currently do. And so the decision basically wasn't whether or not I was going to win an election. It was whether or not I would really feel comfortable about a direction for Macomb County and have a plan to move forward. So I put a steering committee together. We've been working on it for the last couple of months, and I'm very convinced that this is something I definitely want to do, and I have a passion for it, and again, specifically for Macomb County here.
So what is that vision?
Well, again, this is the interesting thing. When people started saying, okay, stop and think about it. You really want to do this, and why? It makes me reflect back to when I was a kid getting out of high school. 1980, I graduated from Sterling Heights High School, public school. I got out of that school, and we were faced with the very same tough economic times. We had a hard time trying to find jobs. For me, I actually decided to, after that summer had passed, travel out to California to try to find employment. I was there for 4 months, and the thing that was most difficult was realizing they had problems there as well, but I missed my family, my friends, and people that I cared about, and so I wanted to come back. Why I say that is because I can imagine today these kids getting out of school, it's got to be as difficult, if not harder, for them trying to figure out where they want to go and what they're going to do. And breaking up the family and that feeling that you have is tough. So as I look at this, I realize we're faced with some very challenging times. I want to be a part of that process to try to see what we can do to help, bring business back here, make business want to stay here. And what it's going to take isn't government creating jobs. It's going to take government providing an opportunity for business to want to thrive, to want to stay here, to want to come here. And my thing is we need to reinvest in what we currently have, some of those manufacturing plants, the businesses that are here, and if we need to reach out to try to find others from other countries to come here and put their companies or organizations here in southeast Michigan, that would be wonderful. But we need to start reinvesting in the current business structure we have right now.
Now, in one sense, you sound like a Republican talking right there when you say government can't create the jobs, and then you sound more like the Democrat when you say you want to invest in these companies. Invest by tax breaks? How do you want to do it?
Well, again, I don't have an exact plan, Frank, and I'll be the first to admit that. I don't know that anybody that's currently in public office has a plan. If they are, then that's the best kept secret, I think. For the most part, I think what I'm planning on doing is bringing people to the table, people that are the educators, people that understand business, the business sector. Our county is full of people that want to get engaged, want to be involved. We need to make sure that we as a government are looking at our services. What are we providing? Are there duplication of services at the local level, county level, state level? Let's start reorganizing, restructuring what we have to make it more efficient, to make sure that some of the things we're doing, whether it's at the state, county, or local level, aren't interfering with the process of business wanting to come here and thrive.
Amen to that. You had both Republicans and Democrats on your exploratory committee. You've always been known as a moderate, and even Brooks Patterson all but endorsed you for becoming the first county executive.
So, and I'm very appreciative of his support. I mean, I look at if I get into office as a county executive, come January 1st, 2011, one of the first things I want to have ready to go is a plan as to where we're going to head with our current budget situation. I don't want to be looking at a budget in crisis mode, trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing this year to make cuts so that we can, sustain ourselves for the next year. One of the things I'd like to take from what Brooks Patterson leadership is, you're looking at a budget that's projected 3 years out with some hard numbers and then soft for the next 2 years. Taking a look at what's going on in this region is extremely important to me, and having that partnership like I've had as a sheriff. I've been very fortunate. Again, you mentioned crossing party lines. When it comes to being a sheriff, it's not about politics, it's about people. Well, I still think it's the same thing about being a county executive. How I get into office and who votes for me, that's significant, it's important, I appreciate that, but the reality is it's going to be not about politics, it's about people. We need to start breaking those barriers down and all coming to the table because we're all in this together, we're all having the same problems. Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, the city of Detroit, I appreciate Brooks Patterson's support. I think it's phenomenal. He's a guy I look to as a true leader. He's done remarkable for his county. but I also am looking for that same kind of support and cooperation from the city of Detroit, Mr. Bing, as well as the leadership in Wayne County with Bob Ficano. So I want to work as a regional partner, trying to help us deal with these issues, but I think you're going to see here in Macomb County for the first time, which is important to us in Macomb County, and the reason why we voted for this form of government is finally having a seat at the table and not being looked upon as the 3.5 coming from Southeast Michigan. It's going to be the big four coming from this Southeast region, having an impact on some of the issues at the state level, but most significantly, being that advocate for Macomb County.
All right, Sheriff, appreciate the time this morning. We'll talk again, I'm sure, down the road. Thanks so much for being with us, and be interesting to watch the campaign. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Frank.
So long. Macomb County Sheriff Mark Hackel, and, of course, Macomb County, one of the biggest counties in the state. We covered it all for you here on the Beckmann Show on JR.